Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to the weekend. Hope you guys are well and had a good week. I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we shall go over to those very healthy looking Bitcoin charts. So yeah, Bitcoin pretty much moving up in a relative price discovery fashion. A nice leg above our 58,500 major level of resistance, our major trend change level. Pretty much price discovery at the moment. We do have obviously previous price action, albeit briefly here before. We've got this high around 65,000. We've got a level that we've actually got over, just about over now, of about 62,000, and obviously this lower level where we initially start from. But realistically, these are not that important levels. It is just a case of how high can the FOMO get us, how high can the breakout traders get us before we then slam back down and have a nice pullback. The main thing here is we get as far away from this $58,500 levels as we can, because when the time comes, and the time will come, when the time comes for that pullback, it would be nice for us to obviously maintain above the $58,500 level. So obviously the further away from it we are, the easier it will be to obviously statistically it will be to hold above that level. So that is a game we are playing. We are playing get away from $58,500. See how high we can get, see if we can tap that all-time high, see if we can get into the deep $60,000 levels, and yeah, before obviously the ETF news actually officially hits the tapes, probably on Monday now, although obviously the whole of crypto now knows that that a futures based ETF has basically been accepted. Obviously it's futures based, it's not spot based, so there's no underlying actual Bitcoin being bought, but clearly there is the massive arbitrage opportunities, and that's pretty much why Wall Street wants this, because they want the arbitrage. Basically they want to make massive dollars on the arbitrage, because they are just they just want to line their own pockets, don't they? So what happens is obviously in bull markets, the futures will track higher than the spot price, and then what they'll do is they'll buy spot, sell the futures, and then just pocket the difference as it balances out. And in a bear market, obviously the futures will track lower than the spot price, at which point they will basically, if they have a spot to sell, they'll sell spot and buy the futures, and then obviously that difference will ultimately even out, and they'll make some money. But yeah, basically the main takeaway for the futures is that it's just going to be another avenue for Wall Street to make boku dollars. But either way, it's going to be buying pressure. It's going to push us up. It's going to force purchasing of the underlying, because of the arbitrage. It is interesting. Obviously we all know about the futures market manipulation in precious metals, and how those markets are pretty much pinned down, but you have to kind of remember, buying and holding the actual physical and in your own possession for precious metals, and then obviously the spreads and just the market value of it any given time is and obviously bringing the asset to market if there is arbitrage opportunities is practically impossible for the average person. But Bitcoin is not impossible. It is pretty easy. So I think it will be pretty difficult. I know people say, futures based, look what they do to the precious metal markets. This is Bitcoin, and it is different. People can literally buy it, they can have it, and they can transport it to an exchange, send it to an exchange in a relative instant. It is nothing like holding bullion, holding precious metals. I think they're gonna obviously not have the same level of ability to manipulate that maybe they would, maybe the people behind the scenes would hope for, but maybe it literally is just a simple fact of the arbitrage opportunity that will be open to people that have access, obviously, to these funds, will be able to basically be able to make extra money. So maybe just as simple as that. So yeah, interesting times. It is clearly going to give us an upward bias. There is clearly going to be a X amount of money that will flow in, just because there will be just every prudent money manager and his dog, not that dogs are money managers, but every prudent money manager will just actually allocate a certain percentage into these ETFs, just as a matter of course, and that is just clearly gonna push up the price. The underlying is gonna have to be bought, and then yeah, we'll just await a bear market, when obviously the hedge funds and the banks will then, obviously, that are arbitraging it, will then obviously sell that spot on the market, as the futures price will be chasing down basically in value quicker than the spot market. But yeah, there we go. So there will be a dynamic anyway, clearly, of buying of the underlying, even though it isn't direct like it is with if there was a spot ETF, and that's obviously why they don't particularly want a spot ETF, because Wall Street won't make all the money that they can make from a spot ETF. But I'm sure it will come. Or it may not come, because, well, I don't know whether it will or won't come, but people will quickly realise that they can just buy and custody their own Bitcoin anyway, to a certain extent. There'll probably be like some trusted emerging custodians. I mean, I'm sure Coinbase has Coinbase custody, where people realise they can actually just scrap these ETFs and just actually buy and store it with Coinbase. So yeah, anyway, we probably talked about that a bit too long. So yeah, but obviously Bitcoin looking good in relative price discovery. We're going to run into a 4-hour-9 here. Maybe we're getting acceleration into it and a pullback. But yeah, the main thing is get as far away from this level, and then obviously hopefully hold that on the ultimate event of a retrace. Not a retrace, but a pullback, because retrace obviously implies we come all the way back, like we did here in Ethereum. So it is painful to see these altcoins literally doing nothing, literally losing against Bitcoin. All obviously the attention and FOMO is into Bitcoin. So yeah, as you can see, a nice move up, and then just practically fully retraced. We've got to try and put in a double bottom here, try and hold this support, and then move back up. But yeah, obviously Bitcoin is looking a bit like it can make some wild moves to the upside, in which case this isn't gonna hold up. So yeah, we shall see. We are going to run into that 409. Maybe we finally do get some sideways consolidation. I mean, we can look at it in the USD value. It's practically doing nothing. I mean, just had a little bit of a move above here. We have obviously got this projected target, but that's not necessarily straight up there. Ultimately, we all know we're going here and beyond. It is just a case of waiting for Bitcoin, waiting for the focus to turn away from Bitcoin and the ETF, which it is quite rightly focused. The market's quite rightly focused on at the moment. So yeah, Bitcoin dominance as a whole, as well, as we can see, looking like we're going to try and make a move down, but obviously supported by this support level, and we're back above this resistance. And yeah, I mean, we have got room to run here, if we so wish. This doesn't look the most bearish of charts. So yeah, clearly we have this to contend with. Let's just look at the stochastics. Obviously it's Saturday, these markets are all closed now. Dollar looking like it wants to potentially break down here, but we spoke about that yesterday. Stochastics 4 hour gonna give us a bit of downward momentum. This 4 hour 9 has literally just ticked over at this present minute. But yeah, 4 hour looking to come down from a high level, so slight downward pressure there, obviously in conjunction with the 4 hour 9. 10 hour whilst we wait for it to load. 10 hour still pointing up here, so yeah, not too much to worry about there. 12 hour looking good as well here. Daily looking good. I mean, it's toppy, but it's still pointing up and looking good from more upside there. 2 day looking to turn down. 3 day up and looking good. 5 day up and looking good. Weekly, weekly turned down. Bi-weekly has got all the room to run, and monthly ultimately is looking like it's gonna turn back up. So yeah, I mean, overall we just know that we're seeing more upside. We're potentially seeing more upside, from here. I think we've got to at least tap the all-time high, maybe even trade a bit higher. Then we play the sideways grind, and then we all hope that, well, I say we hope, it just would be the best case scenario for the bulls to hold this level and get supported there and then continue upwards. But yeah, if we do take that level out, 50, 52, 53,000 is a perfectly okay level for us to hold also. So yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.